Welcome to my channel. My name is Mikkel Tidza. I'm investor and developer. Today something different. First episode in English. I hope you will like it. I got special guest today, Saj Hussain. If you can introduce yourself for people, for Polish community who might not know you that well, but I am sure lots of people know you. If you can say a few words about you.
Sure, thank you. Well, my name's Saj Hussain. I'm based in Birmingham. I've been involved in property just under 2 decades now, and that has a range of experience from sourcing single buy-to-lets, small HMOs, bigger HMOs, service accommodation, developments, converting commercial buildings, quite a range of experience during that time. So our business consists of developments, management, and also we do some education training programs as well.
That's interesting. If you can tell us how you get into property investments.
So I started off in property at the beginning because prior to that I used to run an IT company, and I did that for about 14 years. I made very good money. I used to do the first PCs, putting them on the desks of offices. But over time, we made very good money, but also I made some stupid decisions, and eventually that business collapsed. And I'd made a lot of money but lost everything. And then when I was looking to what am I going to do next? How can I get myself back on my feet? I used to be a fan of, and I still am, of the Sunday Times Rich List. So every year they publish a list, the Sunday Times newspaper, of the richest people in the country and how they've created their wealth. And so much money is created from property, or people keep the money in property. And so this is really what got me thinking about property. And I thought, previously my IT business was based on people, staff, services, and I thought if I can build something that will outlast me and it's assets that will generate income and profit, then that's what kept bringing me back to property. And that's what got me started and thinking about property. The biggest challenge I was facing at that time was I didn't have any money. So what I started doing at the beginning, I started learning about how to find deals and then sell them on to other people. That's really how I got started. At the beginning, this was just before the credit crash, so around 2006, that sort of time.
Okay, so your motivation that time was to build wealth.
My motivation was just to be able to put food on the table at that time.
Okay.
Long term was I need to be able to build something big.
Okay, I understand. If you can tell us about your first investment.
So the first property we purchased was probably by accident, because what I was doing, I was sourcing deals and selling them. I was charging a fee to other people. And then I had one property in Kidderminster, actually just south of Birmingham, where the seller was going to get repossessed, and we were looking at this deal, and I was going backward and forward with him for some time, and he was getting closer and closer to getting repossessed. And then I had somebody who I was selling deals to before as well, and I was trying to get them to buy this property, but it needed a little bit of work and things. And my investor was saying to me, "No, I don't think the numbers are quite right." And I said, "No, look, it's a really good deal." And I was thinking, if he doesn't buy it, he's going to lose a good deal, this person's going to get repossessed, and I'm going to get nothing. So I spent all these months trying to put this together. And in the end, I said to him, look, you know what? You buy the deal, buy the property, I'll do the work the way we said it'll get done. It just needs a little bit of work doing, and I'll get the rent. I promise you get the rent. And then you just pay me something from there. And he agreed to do that. And then really, what I did is got it up and running. It wasn't really much work. We got the rent that we'd agreed. And then he started giving me a share of the profit of the property on the buy-to-let. It was only like £40 or something. It wasn't very much. But really, that's when the first shift came. So the first money I made from property we owned and kept long-term was tiny. But it was reoccurring every month, coming back. That's then started shifting my thinking to maybe I shouldn't be selling all these deals. I should be maybe keeping some. We can make 10,000, 50,000, even 100,000 on some projects.
Pozwól, że przerwę Ci ten materiał, ale chcę poinformować Cię na temat możliwości współpracy ze mną. Jest ona dostępna w 2 wariantach. Pierwszy jest to pożyczka na procent z zabezpieczeniem na nieruchomości, na inwestycji. Zaczyna się od 50 000 funtów wzwyż. Jest też możliwość współpracy ze mną na mniejszych kwotach, zainwestować 20-30 tysięcy, jednak na takie kwoty nie jestem w stanie zaoferować zabezpieczenia. Oczywiście jest umowa, ale nie ma zabezpieczenia na nieruchomości. I jest też druga możliwość współpracy, która polega na inwestowaniu w spółce, gdzie jest możliwość współpracy ze mną na zasadzie partnerskiej. Taka współpraca zaczyna się od $500 000 wzwyż. I polega na tym, że inwestor pożycza pieniądze do spółki, razem robimy projekt, ja zajmuję się wszystkim od wyszukania okazji inwestycyjnej przez cały proces i inwestor po skończonym projekcie w pierwszej kolejności dostaje swoją pożyczkę z powrotem, a następnie później dzielimy się profitami wedle udziałów. Jeśli interesuje Cię ten temat, chciałbyś zacząć współpracować ze mną, zapraszam Cię na moją stronę www.tejzaproperty.co.uk, gdzie znajdziesz formularz zgłoszeniowy, w którym chciałbym, żebyś wypisał swoje dane oraz załączył wyciąg z konta bankowego potwierdzający posiadanie środków. Ja osobiście skontaktuję się z Tobą i porozmawiamy, co możemy wspólnie zrobić. Dzięki, do usłyszenia, pozdrawiam.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because you are a very long time on the market, I got question for you about your biggest mistake and lesson from that mistake.
I've made lots and lots of mistakes. We still make mistakes today.
Everyone do it, you know.
So we're still learning all the time. And I'm a very trusting person. Many times we've done projects where we've, like with construction, developments and stuff, we've gone with various builders and stuff. We've had an agreement arrangement and I've trusted them to do things and then I've left them to it. So the biggest mistake I've made in many of those situations where I've just left them to it and gone on with other things, because I'm trusting them to get on with it. But by taking my eye off the ball and doing other things, they have lost interest in what's happening as well and maybe going on to do other things. And we've lost money on projects which ended up, could have been managed in a much better way. So the key learning was that, when we're delegating responsibility, we have to accept that we are responsible. We can't just pass it to somebody else and forget it. So managing the processes is really, really important, and that's cost us dearly by making mistakes like that.
Yeah, you need to have control on your investments, otherwise it's
100%.
can go wrong.
Yes.
And when you realize you are doing full-time property?
Well, I started full-time pretty much at the beginning.
Okay.
But
the
the
first one, yeah.
the problem was I was just desperate to earn some money because there was no money coming in. So that's why when I started trying to broker deals, but it took a bit of time and I really struggled at the beginning. Probably nearly 2 years before I really started to develop some traction.
Okay.
And I was trying various bits and pieces, and before I traded cars and things as well, and just to try and get some money coming in and keep a roof over my head, really.
Okay. And have you ever had deal which completely go wrong?
We've not had deals that have completely gone wrong. We've had lots of problems with projects and deals. I jokingly say, projects always cost more and take longer. Whatever we think it's going to take, it takes longer. Whatever we think it's going to cost, it costs more. So we build these things into the projects. We try to manage more tightly. There's projects we've done and we've started, we thought this was the budget. We start working there and we realize actually this is a problem, that's an issue, that isn't right. And that's happened many times, but you just deal with it. And one thing I try to do, and we were talking about this beforehand as well, is make sure there's a fat margin in the deal. If there's a nice big profit in the deal, then even if you make some mistakes and even if it goes wrong, you're still going to be okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's helped us a lot by negotiating good deals in the first place. So if there's a problem or there's an issue or things that haven't quite gone to plan, they've been able to sort themselves out because there's enough profit in there.
Okay, I think these days is much easier anyway, because there are people like you who doing courses, some education, and it's much easier to learn from someone who already did some mistake and had that difficulties on the beginning. These days are social media as well, YouTube channel like this or yours or any other from people who share experience from practice. If you regarding the mistakes, I think only people who not doing action, not making mistakes.
Yes,
It's just, you
yes.
know, not possible.
As you said, we're still making mistakes today. And it's a really important thing you says about learning from somebody else's mistakes. Because at the beginning, when I was struggling to progress, what really helped me was somebody who already was ahead of me and helped me as a mentor. Because they already done all the things I'm trying to do, and they could help me say, don't do that, don't do that, do it this way.
Yeah.
And that really made a big difference in me being able to accelerate and move forward faster and not get distracted. And I put the blinkers on, because before I was jumping here, jumping there, trying this, trying that. Then when they helped me, they said, look, stop doing all these other things, just focus on this thing. And that helped me hugely. At that time, when I was starting, the thing that I found really hard was trying to get information, trying to understand how to do something. But now when we look at today, and you just said, you know, I have a YouTube channel, you know, we have about 4 million views on that channel. There's so much information available now. Information is no longer the problem. There's probably too much information. It's trying to find good information is the challenge. Where then the problem was there was no information. Everybody wanted to pay me and I'll tell you. Now, you know, I share information for free on the channel. Information is not really the issue. The challenge really is people implementing. And the best learning is in the doing. So, for example, you know, let's say somebody has never driven a car before. So I can give them a book and say, just follow these instructions and just go and drive the car.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Until they get in the car and hold the steering wheel, look at the mirror and, you know, all these things. And the experience is never going to be the same. So the best learning is in the doing. So you take the information, then you start implementing. And if somebody's sitting next to you like a driving instructor, it's going to make your results much faster. That's really what it's about.
Yeah, that's really important. And as well, I ask you for that mistakes, because I think personally is the best way to learn from someone's mistake.
Yes.
Just to keep it in mind if something really go wrong, to make sure you will not make the same mistake. So I usually talk about everything on my YouTube channel, not only good things, because personally think from the mistakes and bad things you can learn much more.
Yes.
Because if everything going fine, you're not learning that much.
Yes.
Because everything is fine, but you're
So
learning
true.
when the things are upside down and you don't know how to progress in.
Yes. And I think that's so interesting, because in a world of social media today, so much is about, oh, look at my amazing life and this, that, and the other, and it's not really the true image. Because you know, if you're in property, everybody makes mistakes, loses money in property, because that's just part of the experience. You know, if somebody says, oh, I've never made a mistake, I've never lost money, that's not true.
That's Instagram life.
Yeah, exactly. And so just as you said, you know, I've tried to be fairly transparent on our YouTube channel. You know, I talk about the problems and mistakes people make when I'm teaching. I try to be open. I say, look, the property is hard. It's going to be hard work, but your rewards are going to be big. As long as you put the effort in, your rewards are going to be huge. And I think that's something that I think people like, the fact that I'm just fairly open and straightforward and I say as it is.
Yeah, it's very important. From my point of view, people are not disappointed when they think was simple and easy, and then they have some problems on the way and can be, you know, surprised in bad way. They can say things which they was not ready for it. That's why I think it's good to share the worst things, the difficulties or struggles to make sure people who get into property, they are ready for it.
Look, Mikhail, you've done really well, but you've worked really hard as well. And it's important for people to understand, because your hard work ethic is meant that you've been able to build and grow. And so, yes, in property, you can do very well. You can make huge amounts of money. And as I said, when I used to look at the Sunday Times Rich List, and still do, a lot of money in this country is made from property. A lot of wealth is kept in property. And the advantage of that is it doesn't matter from background. So, you know, I was born in this country. My parents originally came from Pakistan. You know, you're born in Poland. But we can come to a country like this, and despite other jobs where you might face challenges, in property, there's no ceiling. You can create whatever you want.
Exactly, and especially you can earn much more on resolving problem, because where is problem, there is difficulties. People usually don't want to touch it. And if you have mindset to focus on problems, then it's like a win-win, because someone is willing to sell you in better price on better terms, and you can resolve that problem and make more money because of that. So
Yes.
I think it's really important to have mindset good in mind, not just think about money, just think how to get win-win, to
Yes.
help someone, and in the meantime make money on it. That's the good way to grow. So I got another question for you, because you specialize with joint venture, you are very long time on the market. How do you find investors willing to find property deals to invest with you?
So when we're talking about investors, we're talking about people investing with me in projects.
Yes.
And I think firstly, it's important to be clear what we are looking for as the developer. So when I'm looking to raise funds, you can either borrow money, which is a loan, a fixed amount of money for a fixed period of time with a fixed return, or somebody can come on as a partner with you, which is where they're sharing the risk and the reward. And it's important for me to be clear what I'm looking for, so then when I am raising investment for projects, that we understand how this is going to work. And the kind of things I like to try and understand from somebody is, how much they're looking to invest, how long they're looking to invest for, what return expectations they have, what's most important for them around making a decision like this. These are the kind of questions I like to try and ask and understand. So what I do is generally try and have lots of conversations, and most of the time I'm looking to have conversations when we don't need the money. And the reason I find that the best time to raise money is when you don't need it is because you are not under pressure. Because if we secure a deal today and we need to get the money next week, then you are under pressure trying to negotiate and secure funding. This way you're constantly having conversations with people. And what happens, let's say I speak to 10 people and 5 of those might be interested in investing with me. But let's say I haven't got anything available immediately, but I have something next month. Well, 2 of those might have gone somewhere else by then. But it doesn't matter, because you're constantly having the conversation, so you have a pipeline. So the important thing is understanding what I want, understanding what they want, making sure that I'm asking these questions when we don't need the money, and I can't remember what the other point was, but those will certainly help.
Okay, and another question: how to you structure deals to make sure for both of you working?
For the investor?
For both of you.
Okay, so like I was saying earlier, so depending on how we put the deal together, it could be a loan or it could be a partnership. So I was speaking to somebody just yesterday, in fact, where the son is in this country and the father's overseas. And they are looking to invest about £2 million in the UK. And we were talking about structure. I said, look, because they asked me the question, well, what's the structure? I said, there are many, many different structures. There is so many different ways we can structure and put the deals together. And what I would say is, let's start with the outcome of what we're trying to achieve. What is it that you want? And what is a structure? A structure is to make something safe, is to make it compliant, is to make it tax efficient as well, and also for it to be a suitable vehicle to deliver the project. So there is no one way. What we look at is these factors, and then we see which might be the right way to do it. So for example, property could be we set up a new SPV and we purchase the property there, so a new limited company for this purpose, for that project. Or it could be we purchase in their name and we have a deed of trust. I have an arrangement, a legal arrangement, where my name doesn't show anywhere on the property, but I still have an interest in that property. So there's many, many different structures, and I say, as long as we are clear what we are trying to achieve, then even if we don't know how to, we just need good legal advisors, good lawyers that can then turn that into a suitable deal for us. Lawyers and accountants can help resolve all those things for us.
Yeah, that's a really good answer. It's always all depends.
Yes.
It's never same thing
Yes.
for everyone. Everyone have different goal, different point of view, and not everyone is ready to share risk. So sometimes it's just straight loan.
And just to add to that, it doesn't mean this is the right way. I'm just sharing
of
how I
course.
do it.
Yeah.
Because let's say, for example, let's say I was building a portfolio of buy-to-lets in Birmingham. I'm not doing that, but let's say, for example, I was doing that. I might have a model where I say, right, I want £100,000 for each project, and I give share of this much to be refinanced or whatever it might be. So I might set the model. I say, look, I'm raising funds, but only in this way. That's it. So I can determine the structures, the method, and everything beforehand if I want to drive it that way. So it's not that one method is wrong or one method is right or whatever. As I said, it just depends on the situation, depends what you want to achieve from it.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone is different, have different point of view, so it's
Yeah.
good to just to do it with details, especially for the person and for the situation. Just to wrap it,
Sure.
I got last two questions. So if you can just very simply answer, how do you see the UK property market right now in 2025?
I think that's an interesting question. The reality is none of us really know what's going on in the market. But what I do know, the market goes up, it goes down, it goes sideways. It's constantly moving and changing. We only know what's happened, which is history. What's happening right now, we don't really know until after it's happened, and then we look back, oh, that's what was happening. So at the moment, it feels the market's fairly flat. You know, interest rates are high, inflation challenges, we've got stamp duty going up, international buyers have to pay much higher stamp duty to buy, you know, slowing those. All these things impact the market and soften the market. But it's not that the market's collapsed, nobody's buying. So my view is right now we're picking up very good deals. We're buying some really good property deals. And some of those we flip. So we buy some to keep and some to sell. So we do a mixture of both. But when we're selling, it's taking us longer to sell because the market's a bit slower. But that's okay because we're buying really well. And the other way around is, let's say 2021, when we were finding it much harder to buy deals because the prices were going up really fast. But when it comes to sell those, we were selling very easy. So in reality, it doesn't really matter what's going on in the market. We just have to be ready to accept the market's going to change and adapt all the time. We just adapt with it. And as and when that's happening, we just look to see what's the right thing to do right now. And we just evolve with the market. So it doesn't really matter where it's going. There's always opportunity.
I think it's really important to be flexible. Just don't have strict, solid rules. Just be flexible in case of the market change.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. So I like to flip property. I like to buy, renovate and sell because it's a nice way to bring cash regularly back into the business. But when we were finding it hard to buy really good deals, we started buying tired HMOs, which is HMOs are a core part of our business, and renovating them and selling them. So you can always find a niche in what you're doing as well.
Yeah, of course. I think we share a lot of value. I had lots of last question, but I think we ran out of the time. So maybe we'll ask you next time.
Sure.
Really thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
We did as well interested video on Saj YouTube channel. So please make sure you've seen it and comment it. I believe Polish community is quite huge in UK and we should help each other to grow. Thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. See you in the next episode. Bye.
Thank you.